my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to show you how to get like this pretty muted rosy pink soft glam makeup tutorial, kind of good for Valentine's Day or literally any other day of the year. I am obsessed with how this turned out. I did try a couple of new techniques, so I'm really excited to like share with you guys and like have you guys watch along with me. I think it's fun to like experiment while filming, so if something's a disaster, we can kind of know what not to do together, or if it turns out really great, we kind of do know what to do together. So anyways, if you would like to see how I got this very soft, shimmery, like in my opinion, it's almost like a soft glam. I know it's like a little bit harsher to be a soft glam, but I really enjoy how this turned out. So if you aren't subscribed yet already, be sure to do so. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited, and yeah, let's roll into it. Hello friends! I kind of have the basis of my makeup done, aka I just have my base on, so that way we can get in this without wasting too much time. So I primed with my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I used this Physician Formula Healthy Foundation. If you are curious about knowing about this foundation, be sure to check out the video that I have linked up here. I am using this CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This is my first time using it. I don't know what it is, but like my eyes are a little bit watery. Like I don't know why drugstore stuff is so finicky for me. Like I have such sensitive skin. It also could be the fact that I'm not really used to wearing makeup, so there's that. This is like, it kind of reminds me of Shape Tape a little bit. I was looking for a more hydrating concealer, not necessarily one that is like full camouflage concealer, because like I'm trying to do like embrace my more natural skin and not do the cake face thing. So if you know of a good like dewy drugstore foundation or concealer, let me know, because I was using the ColourPop ones, but they dry out really fast and then they make your under eye look very crepey and crusty, so I need some help. I really love the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, so something along the lines of that consistency. If anything like that in the drugstore exists, let me know. But yeah, I mean, it works. It definitely brightened. This is in the shade L200 Light Ivory. This is in the shade LC1. And I also just did some cream contouring. I used this Anastasia Cream Contour Palette. This is in the shade Fair. So I mainly use this one here in the middle. If you're curious about these, I kind of hate to say it, but like not really, because it's saving you money. TJ Maxx and Marshalls has these, so check there. I think I got this for like 10 bucks. Not bad. Alrighty, now that we are caught up, I kind of have my brows outlined like I always do, because I don't really have brows. So I'm going to try this freckle trick. So I really wish I could remember who I saw talk about this. I should have written it down. So I'm sorry, like I don't know who I saw do this, but I saw somebody scrape some contour powder out on a little metal plate and add some setting spray to it, and then they just like flicked it on with a brush, and it looked cool. So I'm gonna risk my face and try that. Granted, I didn't set anything down, so hopefully if it looks terrible, it's easy to wipe off. So for that, I'm just going to dip into my Tarte's Pro Glow palette. I basically only use the shade Sculpt from this. It has highlights, but they're not the best highlights. And then I also had like this cream contour, which I like the Anastasia one better. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. I can't find my little freaking plate though, because I did have one and then I moved and now I don't know where anything is. So I'm gonna take another look around and see if I find it before I make a mess out of something else. I found it. I just ordered this off of Amazon. It's a Cinema Secrets little plate mixing palette. I don't have like a thing for it, so I'm just using my tweezers. So I'm going to scrape some of this and try to dump it out onto the palette. I do this carefully because I still use this contour shade, and it's the only contour shade that I have, so I'm not like trying to ruin it, you know? This is like almost like a creamy consistency powder, so I don't know if this is necessarily the best. This should be enough because we shouldn't need a lot. So literally just like the smallest amount. Okay, let me get a setting spray. And what looks like a good brush to flick stuff on with? Like maybe this brush. Should I use a fluffier brush? I'm just gonna use a Morphe M433 and see how this goes. I'm using Vicks Plus because it's like the most liquidy. So I don't know. We will see. That is so dark. Okay. I mean, I definitely feel like I was flicked with, oh yes. So you can kind of see some marks. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna add a little bit more Vicks Plus into this. And, okay, that definitely, I felt that. This hack totally works. I love painting, and I'm someone that can easily get carried away with this because I love doing splatters in my own work. If you're curious to check out my art page is MakeupByMegB. And I think I used up most of the pigment. I bet you could use, like, if you went out and got like a really cheap single brown, like light brown or like auburn single eyeshadow, that would be amazing just to use for this alone, because I would hate to use my contour powder. Like, that's expensive to use just to mess it up to put some freckles on my face, but this is what it looks. This guy I have to like erase out because it's smeared. But this hack actually worked, so that's amazing. The only downside is that now I have this stuck under my fingernail, so I will have to clean that later. I'm like surprised. I was really hoping it would work, and I'm like happy that it actually worked. That's so cool. Hopefully I didn't mess up by doing this before powder products, and hopefully the powder doesn't cover it all up, but I didn't want to like get to that final step of my makeup and it not work, you know? So here we are trying fun new things, and it actually, I always get so happy when hacks actually work. Cute, I like it. And again, up close, it does look a little bit harsh, but I'm fine with that because like I said, I still need to set with powder. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm gonna set my entire face with my RCMA powder and be right back to get started on the rest of this look. Alrighty, so I am back. I just set my face, and then I also filled my brows in, and I think they're looking pretty decent compared to like how they normally look. So once I master this new technique that I'm doing, I'll probably upload a video on it, but I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the face. So like I said, I use this Sculpt Shade by Tarte for contouring. This is an e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. I'm literally just like dabbing the lightest amount because like now that I scraped up the product, it's probably going to be super pigmented because when you scrape it up, it's like not as, it's different than like if you were to just go in without it being broken. You know, you're picking up a little bit more product, and I can already see that I'm like blending the freckles away. So I would definitely do the freckles last, but that is okay. This is how we learn. So what shows are you guys loving right now to binge? I feel like there is so much going on. One show that I recently fell into is Good Trouble. It's on Freeform, but they also have it on Hulu. That's how I binged it. I binged the first season and a half on Hulu. It is so good. I never watched The Fosters. Apparently it's like a spin-off of The Fosters. I never was into that show, never watched it. But Good Trouble is like really, really good. So if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It's like your typical drama of like basically these two sisters just graduated from college. They moved to LA and they're just like working their way around the city and like their struggles with their careers and their jobs. So it's kind of a show like that, if that would have any interest to you. Taking the Butter Bronzer in the shade Light, and this is just a powder brush from Sephora. And I go in with a pretty light hand because when you set or when you do a cream contour, you really don't need to add that much more on top of it. So if you have dry skin, it's definitely worth checking out cream products. In my opinion, I definitely have dry skin. Yes, I'm also going to contour my nose really fast with this angled Luxie medium angled shading brush. I am so all over the place. I feel like I always have to be giving instruction when maybe I don't. But yeah, Good Trouble is a really good show, and they have new episodes up now. The Bold Type is back, and that show is so good. I love The Bold Type. If you haven't seen it, again, it's kind of like, takes place in New York. It's like a group of girls that works at a magazine, and it's like really like woman empowerment. So I love that show. Drag Race is coming back at the end of the month. Finally, I feel like it's been on hiatus forever. Although I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish we were getting the All-Star season first. But from what I've heard, the rumors circulating out there is that we're getting 4 cycles of Drag Race this year, which sounds like a lot. Supposedly that there was like a celebrity edition. That's like, I don't think it's like a full like, you know, how long are their seasons? Like 2 or 3 months long. Like, I don't think it's like a full season. I think it's probably like a mini series or like a mini season with the celebrity. I could be wrong, but I heard that there was that celebrity run. I also heard that we're getting, what are we on now? Season 12. So from what I heard, it's supposed to go season 12, either the celebrity edition or All Stars, like interchange those two. And then we're supposed to end the year with season 13. So that's like it's gonna be a lot. I mean, I love Drag Race, so I'm not complaining. It just feels like it's been forever since it was last on. This is in the shade Partay by Tarte. I got it forever ago as a birthday gift from Sephora, I'm guessing. And for highlight today, I'm mainly going, what am I gonna use? This is like a Valentine's Day look. So I think I'm gonna take a mixture of Mary Lou, and then I'm also going to use my Jeffree Star Princess Cut highlighter. So on Netflix, Next in Fashion has been like really fun to watch because I grew up, I loved America's Next Top Model, Project Runway, like all of those shows were just like my childhood to me. So Next in Fashion is really an interesting concept. It's kind of a little different than Project Runway in the sense that they start off working in teams. So like it's a different dynamic to it. And I've really been enjoying it so far. And I really love Ashton, Marco, and then Charles and Angelo. Like those are like my favorite teams and people on the show. So I've also been watching Sex Education, and I can't get enough of that show. Like I'm like, it's so good. I just love it so much. Sabrina also came out, and I'm obsessed with Sabrina, but I just like haven't been in the mood to sit down and watch it because with Sabrina, like I can't just sit down and watch an episode, right? Like I will literally binge pretty much the entire show in like one day. Curse of Netflix. So if you've watched Sabrina, don't give me any spoilers, please, but just let me know, like, was it a good season? Did you like it? And what other shows are you guys into? I don't know if anyone still watches The Ranch because it kind of like, it was so good at the beginning and now it's just, I feel like the last season's just been a little bit of a mess. But that show's back. Joe and I started watching it the other night just because it's like, we started watching this and now we need to see it through kind of thing. So let me know in the comments, like what shows are you really into right now? Like what do I need to watch that I'm not watching? So that is it for the base. I'm going to give myself a quick spray with the Morphe setting spray. I'm going to curl my lashes and then we're going to get into the eyeshadow look. So this is the Bare Necessities palette from ColourPop. I finally got my hands on it. It has been sold out pretty much since it launched. The only other eyeshadows that I have from ColourPop, I have their peach palette, which I love. I love peaches. Like peach eyeshadow shades, I guess I should say. And then this one really intrigued me because it's like literally like any and every neutral color eyeshadow. And I also really like that this leans more on the cool side. Like this first 3 rows are a little bit more on the cool side. There are some warmer tone shadows in here, but I was always like a cool tone girl. So I'm so excited to dip into this and to play with it. I already used the shadows in this row, and I'm gonna be recreating that look today because like I love how it turned out so much. But I did get this on sale, so it was like about $20 for an eyeshadow palette, like not bad. So definitely wait around for a sale. I mean, it's inexpensive to begin with, but if you wanna save like, you know, the tax or like the shipping amount, wait until there's like a 25% off sale, save you a couple bucks. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the eye look. Okay, so to get this look started off, I'm taking the shade All For You, and this is like my kind of shade. It is like a muted rose, and I love that. Like the blush that I put on is kind of like a muted rose color, so I live for colors like this. I'm just gonna pick it up with the Morphe M433. And these shadows, they can be a little on the messy side. They're just not tightly packed, which there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're tapping off the excess on a mirror or like on the end of the palette or something before you go in so you're not getting fallout. And I'm just gonna start in the outer corner here. I really like working with a rounded shape, but of course, if you wanted to wing it out, all that you need to do for that is take whatever leftover product is on your brush and just flick outwards if you want more of that smoked winged out look. But I like depositing most of the color right there on the outer edge. And I also like picking up a little bit at a time and working my way up instead of, you know, picking up too much. And what I do different is that I start really right at the crease right here, and then I go kind of upwards because I like having a really opened inner corner. So what I mean by that is that I'm going to take my brush and I'm holding it at this angle, and I'm just going to trace the outer rim of my socket. So you can see how here we started down here and then it just kind of lifted up there because I want to have this inner corner to be really open and bright. And then you just want to work on building that up to what you are happy with. If you wanted to flick this up in the bridge of your nose, up into your brow, go ahead, go for it. And again, I just focus most of the product here at the crease and then blend upwards towards the brow bone. So you're not having as much product go up there. Kind of get like a nice seamless blend that way without having to overwork the shadow. So that's basically the shape that I am going for. I am going to now take a mix of full expose and in the buff. So mostly this one because it's lighter, and then also a little bit of this one. I'm going to dip in between both of those with another M433. Just because I don't like anything super harsh up at the brow bone, especially because I didn't carve out my concealer or anything today. So what I'm going to do is just lightly, again, I'm holding the brush almost perpendicular, and I'm just going to work on blending that edge out with these shadows. And it's also going to add a little bit of lightness to the brow bone. And that is my lovely neighbor that has a van that he leaves idling for hours on end, so that's great. This can also help if you accidentally blend your crease shadow up too high. It can kind of like erase it and tone it down. And then with no new product, I'm just going to go back with that original brush and rebuff up over here. So to deepen things up, I like working with a little smaller of a brush so you can see a difference in the size. This is really good for just fluffing some shadow on. If you want something that's a little bit more detailed, this is the Morphe 506 brush. And I'm going to take the shade Active Full. So it's like a little bit of this deeper, more plum purple shadow. And we're gonna blend that into the crease. I'm like not too crazy about it being like super pigmented purple, so I'm gonna take a little bit at a time and build it up just to add some depth to our look. So I focus mostly into the crease, and then whatever is left, I'm kind of dragging down onto the outer third of my lid. And then I'm going to bring this about halfway in because again, I want to have this space nice and open. And then for as far as base goes, I just use concealer and set with a powder because when you're working with neutrals, you don't really need the base to be super tacky to like grab on, because normally when you're working with neutrals, you want everything to be like kind of like a soft glam, like really nicely blended out, versus when you're working with colorful shadows, you definitely want to have that impact. So sticky base works great for colorful shadows, but if you're just using a neutral look like this, you don't have to have that sticky base. The shadows may be a little bit more difficult to work with actually if you were to use a sticky base. So once I have that on, I'm gonna go back with the first brush that we used and just work on blending it out. So I'm just using small circular motions. What I'm going to do next is pick up that same shadow, same brush, and I like to use shadow as a liner because I like to have a soft, smoky liner and nothing too defined. I like more subtle liner. So what I do is that I hold the brush at an angle like this, and I just get it in between my lashes. Some of this is gonna get covered up when we put the lid shades on, so I'm not like super worried about it because I can always go over it. But I just like having that base there, and then whatever is left on my brush, I just kind of fill in that little outer corner. Here you can see what I'm talking about with the shadow just being a little bit messy. So you can just do that and it goes away. I'm not someone that's super bothered by it. So I like applying shimmers with my finger. So Spree was almost like a little too wine plummy for me, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with Designer Duds. And again, I think your finger is the best way to apply shimmer shadows. I feel like you get the most payoff and the most pigment that way. So again, I'm not being anything super precise with this, just placing it on. And then if you did want to, you know, go the extra mile and carve out your lid space and have a tacky base, it would just bring more pigment from that shadow onto your lid. So now what I'm going to do is lighten things up a wee bit. So I'm going to take Silk Teddy. This shade looks right up my alley. It looks so pretty. This is like almost like a champagne-y color. And I'm going to put this on the inner corner. And it looks so pretty on top of that pink shimmer that we laid down. Oh, that looks so nice. And then for the last shimmer, I am going to use a brush because I'm putting it in my inner corner. And I'm just going to take this first color, Idle Hour. This is like really bright and really, really pretty. So again, you don't really need a lot with these shadows. And what I like to do is, because remember we kind of went up higher with the crease, so I like sliding that guy right into there, and that's really gonna help give you that eye brightening moment. So let me finish putting this on. So you can just kind of see the difference. It just brings that awakeness and that shine up into the crease and just helps you look more awake. I don't know, I like it. If you don't like it, then don't do it. And then whatever is left, I'm just gonna take and put like right at the arch of my brows, because I don't want anything like super highlighty up there. I just want like a soft shimmer. So what I like to do to clean up the shimmer is just kind of go over the areas in the outer crease with the same original brush that we used. And it will kind of knock any like glitter, or like right there you can see it kind of looks like it skipped a little bit because like I was just carelessly applying it with my finger. Just do that and it goes away. So super easy. And for the lower lash line, I'm going to take an E36. This is a Morphe brush. And I'm going to go back into Active Fool. So this is the darkest shade that we used. And I'm just going to run that under my lower lash line. This is kind of like the perfect pencil brush for your lower lash line, in my opinion. I'm going to bring that almost all the way around. And you want to lay it down first, and then you can kind of work on whacking it around and just blending it out. Normally I go for like a super smoky lower lash line, but I'm kind of liking it be a little more subtle for today. So I'm just going to leave it like this. And then I'm going to go back in with the other E36 that we use for highlight, and I am just going to add highlight right down there. That is the completed eye look. I'm gonna throw on some mascara and then be back to do lips. Are you saying hi? Hello? Do you miss being in the background of my videos? Everyone misses you. Yes, they do. They love seeing you. Now they just get to see your tail like Pepe Le Pew. All right, I have changed out of my pajama top and into a normal top. I also went ahead and touched up some of my freckles since a lot of them did get covered. I just used my Brow Blade by Urban Decay because it has the ink side, so I just kind of went a little bit overboard because I don't know when to stop. So yeah, so for lips, I like keeping things simple because typically, like if I'm getting ready to go out, like I'm going out to dinner or I'm going out and drinking, doing stuff that involves lips, so spending like 30 minutes on my lips and like lining them and covering them out with concealer and all that is just a little bit too much for me 90% of the time. So I'm gonna keep it simple. This is my nude stick in the shade Whisper. Need to sharpen it and then I will be back. Hi. If you guys haven't been following me, I used to film in one of my old apartments and I had like our guest bed in the background because like my studio was in our guest room, and Luna would always hang out with me on the bed while I did videos, so she was always a part of videos, and I don't have that set up for her anymore right now and it makes me kind of sad. But anyways, I'm gonna lightly go over this because I don't want it to be like too perfect looking. I almost want it to be like kind of messy, if that makes sense. Like the blurred lip that is popular with a lot of like Korean makeup from what I understand. My lips are also very uneven. As you can see, this one points up more and this one lays a little bit more flat, so I don't really like drawing a lot of attention to my lips. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then I'm just gonna put a simple gloss on top. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee. I should honestly probably throw this out and get a new one because I've had it. I don't even want to know how many years I've had this. And I like this because it's like a pinky gloss. So it will lighten your lips a little bit, but not anything significantly. And I really like pinky nudes. So that is going to be that for this look. I really love looks like this, like muted rose, muted pinks. Like I said, it's my jam, so I can't wait to play with this palette more. What is your favorite kind of like nude or natural look? Let me know like what palettes that you guys are loving. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.